Hello, hello, and welcome to Pique My Interest, the show dedicated to creativity. My name is Scoob Decker, and I am an artist, and your host. Pique My Interest is an exploration of art across North America in meeting some incredible artists, learning about their craft, and exploring what makes them create. Welcome to Pique My Interest. Hello, hello, and welcome to Pique My Interest. I am currently in San Francisco, sitting in Club Fugazi, the incredible space, sitting with an amazing artist. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
And please pique our interest. Introduce yourself. Who are you and where are you from?
I'm Joëlle, I'm from Switzerland. I'm a circus artist, 28 years old.
You are a circus artist.
Yeah.
And what is your specialty within the circus?
I have different specialties, but my main one is, it's called hand-to-hand, so I work in a duo, in a partnership with the same person actually, usually. And he's the base, so he's like lifting me, throwing me, catching me, this kind of stuff. I do flips and I do one arm hand balancing on his head or on his hands.
Yes. Yeah. You are the tiny one. You are being
I'm the flyer.
Thrown through the air and doing all sorts of acrobats and flips
Yeah.
and stunts, and it is so fun to watch you, and you were just captivating to watch.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Your specialty might be, would you say hand to hand?
Hand to hand.
But you are doing all sorts of things. I've seen you play the accordion, I've seen you do a bunch of hula hoops, juggle, like all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to dive into that a little bit more. But what is your background? Do you have any education in the circus?
Yes, I did actually 2 different circus schools. One was a circus high school in France, and then the second one was, it's like a circus college in Montreal. It's like one of the most renowned circus schools in the world. And so I went to Canada for 3 years there.
And what got you into the circus? What piqued your interest about the circus?
Well, my dad, when he was younger, he was an electrician, and he saw this ad in the newspapers that were like, oh, we're looking for like a lighting technician in this touring circus. He was like, that sounds interesting. So he did that. He loved touring with the circus. So he did that for 2 years. And then once he had like a family, he had us, he brought us to the circus a lot to watch shows. And then when I was 14, 15, we actually went back on tour with the circus as a family for 2 years. And my parents weren't circus artists. They were just working in the circus, like building up the tent, tearing it down, transporting to the new city, this kind of stuff.
But because of that, you were exposed to
Yeah.
the art of the circus.
Yeah, I loved
And you
it.
were just hooked.
Yeah, I watched the show like every day.
Every day. And through that, you've grown, you went to your schools, you studied Chinese pole, you've got
Yeah.
all these things. You are now a circus performer. I wouldn't necessarily say this is the circus, but you're a performer at Dear San Francisco in Club Fugazi. To me, that's success. Do you consider yourself successful as a circus performer, and what is success in the circus?
I think maybe success in the circus isn't necessarily what success is for me. Like, I consider myself successful because I've achieved my dream. Like, I wanted to become a circus artist and work for the Seven Fingers, for example. And this was a show I had heard about, and when they first started, and I was like, wow, it sounds incredible. And so I'm like living the dream I had.
You live in the
You know?
dream. And what about San Francisco makes you want to perform here?
I actually didn't really know the city before I started working here, but this show just is very special because it just is a residential show. So it's like there every day, and every day new people come and watch us, and it's about the city. It's like a love letter to the city, which feels very like beautiful, meaningful, wholesome. Like you can feel that the people in the audience appreciate the city. And it's nice to convey that as well from the stage.
And what I've learned through Pique My Interest is that artists are storytellers. And Dear San Francisco has a beautiful story. But you have a unique way of telling a story. You're thrown through the air, you're doing somersaults, you're doing these crazy flexes. How do circus acts tell a story?
Yes, you can tell a story through so many, like in so many different ways, like movement, talking, speech. Like in this show, for example, there's singing, there's talking, there's poetry, music, anything you want. That's the beauty of circus. Like it can really consist of so many different things. It can be like more acting based, it can be more like dance, it can be big tricks, you know,
Yeah.
like it can be a lot of things.
What I loved about Dear San Francisco when I saw it a few months ago was how grounded it was, how inviting and welcoming it is. You can watch it and get anything out of it. I feel like when I see a cirque show, you're drawn into the fantastical. You're kind of taken on this interesting journey, and it's a little like dreamy. You don't really know what's going on. But what I love about Dear San Francisco is it's so relatable, and it brings you right into it. And your acrobats, just as fantastical as they are, just bring you right into this believable story. So I just want to say thank you for that artistry and bringing that to it. And what gets your creative juices flowing? What inspires you?
It depends. I would say different types of art, like watching shows myself can really inspire me. Sometimes like I'll listen to music, I can like picture what I would do or how I would create an act to this music, for example.
Are you in the creative process for building Dear San Francisco, or are you just kind of somebody that gets plugged into somebody else's vision?
I wasn't part of the creation process for the show, but every time new artists come in, like you do your own act and you add your own personality to what you do.
Is that similar to other circuses? Like, do you kind of bring your own self and kind of show what you can do and see if it fits them?
It really depends on the kind of circus, but you mentioned Cirque du Soleil there, for example. For them, it's more important that it's exactly the same, no matter who does it.
The consistency.
But often in circus, like you bring your own acts, your own tricks, because everyone is so unique, and you almost can't replace. You can't replace a person with someone else, because everyone does their own unique skills.
Right, and Dear San Francisco, I feel like, is the epitome of just bringing in all these different acrobats, jugglers, and all sorts of different artists to be able to tell this story about San Francisco, and you're all from different regions of the world. Do you find that the message is universal, the invitingness of it all?
I definitely think so. Like, we also get a lot of people in the audience who aren't from here, who maybe don't know the history or anything, and maybe don't understand all the references we have in the show, and still, like, they're totally immersed in it, and it's still this moment to like connect with the audience and just watch something beautiful and be touched in ways that they're relating to what we're showing.
Yeah, I think it is extremely relatable about leaving home, going to a new city. It even has some dated aspects to it. There's a payphone, and I went, oh, who uses a payphone nowadays? But you know exactly what's happening, and you can understand everything that's happening. Do we notice something's going on in the show that we don't necessarily think is working, so we need to work on that the next day? Or is there a trick that we've been working on our side, and how can we incorporate that into the show?
Yeah, that's definitely the case. I mean, we have to train and warm up every day, first of all, and then sometimes, yes, a trick, even though you do it every day, it somehow maybe started changing, now it's not working anymore, so you have to practice it again. And also, like for me personally, I love just having new little challenges for myself and just being like, okay, maybe I want to add this new trick. So I like train it every day until I can put it in the show.
You have so many talents. How do you practice all of these? And how do you excel at one or all of them?
I think the most important thing is routine.
Yeah.
Like, I think just doing it every day, no matter like how you feel or no matter how long your training is, at least a little bit every day will get you way further than like once every few days.
How do you practice people throwing hula hoops at you? How do you practice playing the accordion on somebody's shoulders?
Well, you just start small,
Yeah.
you know? Like, for example, hula hoops, I taught it myself, and that's my most recent discipline. I only learned it 4 years ago, or started learning it 4 years ago.
Wow.
And you start super small with like one hoop, trying to like put it around your like belly, like everyone like has probably tried. And then you add more hoops, different skills.
While you're working with, we talked about one of your partners that you've had before in the past. Do those sets that you work on with him or her change? Say they go do a different contract for a while. Does that set have to get completely changed and you have to make a whole new set? Or are you able to bring in somebody else to kind of replace them for the time being?
Actually, me and my partner that I work with, we've only worked with each other since we finished school. So this is kind of like the first time we're like apart for a while. And because we've worked together for like 7 years, our skills are really specific to us.
Right.
So yes, we could bring someone in and like teach them this act that I actually initially created with him.
Right.
But
It wouldn't be
especially
the
in a
same.
duo, the skills created together are very like unique to this duo usually. So
Right. And there's a sense of trust
absolutely.
that you've put in with each other, and
Yeah.
if they leave, you can't just put that in somebody else right away,
Yeah,
especially
not
when
right
you've
away.
formed the story together.
Yeah.
I completely
Yeah,
understand
it would take practice.
And while you're working, I'm sure there's times where you just have to go, I need to put this to the side. Do you have any hobbies, and do they complement or contradict your craft?
I think one of the things that makes me kind of sad sometimes about circus, not sad, but like, it's that it uses so much of my energy. So often when I have time off, I actually don't want to do physical things so much, even though it's things that I love. I love like riding my bicycle, for example, but sometimes I'm like too tired to go on a bicycle adventure. So that's kind of like the downside probably. But I love reading, I love learning languages, I love just nature, going swimming or cycling.
I mean, we're in San Francisco. This place, you can walk anywhere, uphill, downhill, zigzag around, but I can only imagine that after doing this, how many shows a week do you do?
7.
7
currently.
shows a week, that you probably just want to collapse a little bit.
I love it.
And then you got to come in for training a couple more days a week,
Yeah.
and then you got to go practice on your own time, and then holy moly.
Yes.
Anybody who's trying to get into the circus, what would be your advice for newcomers?
I would definitely say find a good training space, like maybe a circus school, or even like a lot of people coach online, like have a coach to like get things started.
Oh,
and
so you can do it at home.
Yes, depending on the discipline, but some people,
Sure.
for example, like hand balancing is kind of how I started circus, and you can do that anywhere on your like living room floor, you know, and a lot of people teach online classes.
Is equipment accessible? Like, can you get handstand poles and hoops to jump through?
Yes.
Yeah?
There's
They're not
companies
specific.
who build those things.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent. And then, are there any misconceptions about your craft? Anything about being a circus performer that you'd like to clear the air?
I think a lot of people don't know that it's a thing that you can do, like a full-time job, you know? A lot of people think like maybe you do this on the side, but like the fact that it does exist as a job, that there's circus colleges where you can study it and then actually do this as a full-time job.
Yeah, when I was researching all of your bios, I went, holy moly, how many circus schools are there? There's
a
so
lot.
many.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know because like a lot of
No.
I didn't know like a circus artist was an actual job, you know?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest misconception is most people, when they think of a circus, it's kind of almost like a joke. It's kind of
Yeah,
like, I'm going to
absolutely.
run away and join the circus. But then you just realize that these performers are very special, and they can do things that nobody else can do.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, again, thank you for doing that and showing us the world that circus performers are creators, are
Yeah.
artists, and they're not just sideshows.
Totally. And I mean, I think a lot of people know circus as the traditional circus with like animals and like this kind of stuff. So a lot of people think like I'm either a clown or training to train tigers at the circus school, you know?
Right.
But this is like modern circus, contemporary circus. It's
Right.
completely different.
Yeah, I mean, this space, I mean, we're in the middle of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Like, there's no circus tent here. We got no we don't have any tigers here, do
No.
we? Any funny or interesting stories that have happened with Dear San Francisco, just off the top of your head?
You know, the tricky thing about this stage specifically is that it's pretty small, and there is the proscenium like in the middle of over the middle of the stage. There is 2 poles on the stage. There's like audience on the stage, so it's very small and kind of cramped, and much smaller than other stages you would see, which makes it really intimate, and it's nice because you're close to the audience, but it makes it also a bit dangerous. So like last year I fell off stage, for example. One time I was fine, but like this kind of thing, it's happened before. Someone takes a step a little too far and like slips off the stage, stuff like that.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
an extra little, excitement
I
to the
think,
show.
I think that's what surprised me the first time I walked in here, was the intimacy.
Yeah,
When
absolutely.
when you have that idea in your head of going to a circus. It's massive and 2,000 people. No, this is you have people on stage with you. You have audiences up there that, I'm not sure if you're interacting with them, but that's got to be very hard to do your job, trying to bounce around, flex around, spin around with somebody eating and drinking right next to you.
Yeah, but it makes it very special for us too, because
bet.
in other shows you don't have audience on the stage with you. So it's really cool to like be able to connect with them and see them from this close. Yeah.
And being in the audience, it is just absolutely breathtaking to be able to, because when you're there, you feel like you're definitely a part of it.
Yeah.
That you get to immerse yourself in with this story.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And then going a little further, what's next for you? What's next for Joëlle?
That's also one thing about circus, is that like you have to always find new contracts, because usually a contract is a few months long. I mean, sometimes it's like an evening, but it can range up to like maybe 2 years. But I've never, like my longest contract has been like 6 months. So every few months you find a different contract. So I don't know yet after this. I have some ideas, some maybe plans, but nothing concrete yet.
You want to stay with Dear San Francisco?
Honestly, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it here, but I've already done it for like almost a year in total, and I feel like I would like a change.
Almost
There's
ready
other
for the next
shows.
step?
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe I'll just come back in the future, you know.
And where can we see your work? Are you on social media?
Yes, I'm on Instagram. I have some YouTube videos, but mostly Instagram is the best, yeah.
And what's your handle?
It's at Joëlle Ziörjen.
Excellent. I can't thank you enough for joining me and piquing my interest. I do like to end with one last question. If you could excel at any other craft other than your own, what would you like to do?
I always thought it would be really cool to be very good at like either skateboarding or drumming.
Skateboarding or drumming?
Yeah, because
Well,
it's just really cool.
With your skill set, I'm sure you could figure out a way to do both. Because you are phenomenal. Thank you, and thank you to all my peakers out there. Please let me know if you know of any special or unique artists or art forms you think I should explore. I'm currently in San Francisco and can't wait to see where Pique My Interest takes me next. Remember, creativity comes from the heart. Push yourselves. Be kind to each other. I'm Scoob Decker, and thank you for helping me pique my interest. This episode was produced by Lizzie Webb. Be sure to follow on social media to stay updated on all the adventures into art and creativity, as well as all of the past Pique My Interest featured artists. If you like, please leave a review. Send us a message. Tell us what you think. Pique My Interest is for you, the peakers. Cheers to creativity, and I hope your interest is piqued.